addressable LEDs. I swear I had one open. Into the lab. Saloon, old fashioned. Here's my system. My system is failing me because my system is not failing me. Nope, it is failing me. Freaking my LEDs. I could have kept them together. LEDs. All right, bear with me. I'm gonna find. Oh, there they go. You see them? I just wanted to check out the width. See how this one fares. A little bit wider. I mean, it might. Oh no, it won't. Do I want to stick these to the screen? Negative. Negative. Another thing to figure out. Oh, by the way, this remote is really nice. It's like a it's a RF or Bluetooth, maybe Bluetooth. It's definitely not IR. But yeah, so we got our addressable LED strips. This will probably be last when I actually get the flat pack for the cabinet box from VirtuaPin, because I may have to route out the width of this. So route out a groove. I don't know how much is that? What, 3/16, right? Route out a 3/16 groove, and the length of the monitor, or it's not even a monitor. This is a TV. This is a LG ThinQ 48-inch what do we have? 4K 120 hertz HDMI 2.1. So we're good to go with this. Yeah, so next on the docket is connect these things to the Pinmos, to the MOS. All right. So we did run into a little snag. I don't know if you can count them out. All right. Can you see that? See each one of those? I think whatever 4-pin thing that is that a resistor? Or whatever that part is. There are only 13 of them. Yeah, there are 13 of them. So found out this here are the button inputs. Here are the high power outputs. These are the mid power. And I believe these are the low power. This one's easy. Just get a ribbon cable. I believe that's 24 pin, if I'm not mistaken. But I don't think we need any of those. These used to be for the flashers, but we're going with addressable matrix, so we don't need flashers. So those become all available outputs. So they drive the LEDs behind all of the lit buttons. So we have start. This is in place of the ball save, and then this is the exit, and then the launch ball. So And then we also have 3 for the fire button. So we did get the fire button from VirtuaPin. Paul hooked us up with the fire button, but we went and burnt out the blue and the green LEDs. Apparently, there are different resistors on there, and that was not a 12 volt. And all this whole rail here is 12 volts, and that whole rail is 12 volts. Since I am just reusing this, I mean, it's all neatly, everything's all neat and tidy. I'm just stuck with it. So I went and burnt out that LED for the fire button. But I was able to repurpose one of the flashers as the RGB flashers, and I got that bad boy to fit underneath the lock bar receiver, in between the lock bar receiver and the spring. Just fits, and it's 12 volts, and the resistors are rated for 12 volt input. So, and that works just fine, right? So, it was a pain in the butt trying to get this nut in right there. When I move it to the new cabinet, it'll be a pain in the butt moving it, but we don't have to do it once. So, yeah. Boom, boom, boom. What else? Yeah. So let's get back to it. We only have 13 button inputs in the plunger, right? So we have the plunger here from Cleveland Software Design. And then this is their plunger. This one is so much better, and it's a real Williams plunger, whereas this is this thing. See, they have them on Amazon. They're really cheap. I mean, it feels light. Now that one, this one is a beast. I mean, obviously it's the real deal. So we're gonna go with this plunger, and you see how much easier it is to connect it with that removable connector. What else did we do? Look at that. Oh, we removed the little shaker and we put in a big shaker. We got a used shaker from eBay. It's not a Stern shaker. I think it came from some spooky pinball, something, whatever it is. It works. And here is the little shaker for comparison. Little shaker, big shaker. So, how do they compare? This one makes a lot of noise until you get it all the way up, and then it starts vibrating. That one just vibrates. It starts to vibrate, and then it vibrates more, and then it will rattle the whole thing. You definitely not turning it up. This one, if you have space constraints, then yeah, this one is, I guess, will be fine, especially if you have a smaller cabinet at a full size. What else? What else did we do? We wired in the tilt bob, and we wired in the coin switch. So I had a thought, right, with the coin switch, because this is the 6 position or 6 pin coin switch, right? Well, I guess regardless of whether it's 6 pin or not, because the coin door stays closed, and when you open it, it activates that button. You're gonna use that button as a shift, and then I can multiplex then 4 other buttons to get my coin door service buttons, and that would solve the limited buttons output. They didn't map enough buttons there. I guess it would have been this thing, but they didn't. Yeah, they had some more, but those look like, yeah, those look like high power. Those not buttons either. Yeah. So 13 buttons. That's how we solve it because we already used up. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The coin door is 7. Launch button is 8, 9, 10, 11. And then we have 2 buttons left over. 12, 13. And we have the coin. And then so we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 5 buttons left to map to 2. So we have to do some multiplexing. So we have to do some dual use buttons. And that's where the shift comes in. So Pinscape is going to allow us to use the shift and multiplex the buttons. So yay, Pinscape. What else did we do? We put in our date and exciters. We put the big boys in this time. We didn't do little tactile transducers. What else did we do? Oh, we put this this amp in. We were originally going to stay with this cabinet, but decided to part ways with it. And we're going to have our surround sound amp back here. I think this is a 600 watt amp, or rated for 600 watt. I don't even know what the RMS is, but let's say peak it's at 600. So this is a marine amp, right? It's supposed to go on boats. And what they provide is a remote volume, in which I have tentatively mounted in the front. So now I can control the surround sound from the front, as well as the back speaker volume, and then I have the master volume here for the computer. So that is new. Otherwise, we've pretty much reused everything else. What did we not reuse? We did not reuse the flasher panel. We did not reuse the power supply. In fact, we went kind of crazy with the power supplies. A little overkill. So we got a 240 watt, 24 volt. No. Is that 10? Yeah, 240 watts. Yeah. Right, 10 amps, 24 volts. Right, 210 amp, 12 volts. Right, I don't know why I would need. Oh, yes, I do. Because we're going to power one of these. One of the 12 volts is going to power both amps. Right, that amp and then that amp. And then the other 12 volts is for any other 12 volt supply. So we have our back glass DMD and our back glass monitor. Those are roughly 50 watts. And then maybe 60 watts. Not 50, because the big one is 35, so the little one got to be less. And then whatever else is left over with the 12 volts. So our LED lights, beacons. Beacons to pull in, I believe is maybe 12 volts of 7, so maybe 0.8 watts, right? Not 0.8, 6, 8 watts, right? Each. I believe we should be okay. If not, we'll figure it out. Ooh. All right. That was a lot of work.